William Carter floated silently in the darkness of space, tethered to his repair drone. Around him, the stars stretched forever, cold and distant. Earth hung below him, a peaceful blue and green ball. Up here it was easy to forget the problems waiting back home. William sighed. He was supposed to be fixing a broken relay station, but his scanner had picked up something strange. A small object, orbiting slowly near the moon. It wasn't on any map. It wasn't sending any signals. It was just there, curious. William fired his thrusters and drifted closer. As he approached, he saw that it was a satellite, an old one, very old. Its surface was covered in dust and tiny cracks. Parts of it were rusted and broken. It looked like it hadn't been touched in centuries. William smiled to himself. Well, let's see what secrets you're hiding. He brushed away a layer of dust with his glove. Underneath, a small screen blinked weakly. A single red light pulsed, like a heartbeat. He tapped the control panel, half expecting it to fall apart. Instead, the screen lit up, and words appeared. New messages, 4723. William blinked. What the? He tapped a few more buttons. The satellite shuddered, as if waking up from a long sleep. Messages began to scroll across the screen, but most were in strange alien languages he couldn't read. He quickly switched the language setting to English. The first few messages were harmless. News. Year 2084. Invitation to join Galactic Council. Year 2100. Peaceful greetings from the Alaxian Empire. Year 2120. Trade offer. Rare minerals. Year 2150. Security alert. Hostile forces detected nearby. Year 2210. Final warning. Year 2215. Declaration of war from Overlord Vrex. William's stomach dropped. He scrolled further. Every message after that was worse. Reports of attacks, requests for surrender, and then silence. No one from Earth had ever responded. His heart pounded. Piper, he said, calling his AI assistant. I think I just found something really bad. Piper's voice was calm in his earpiece. Please specify, William. This satellite, it's full of messages, warnings, threats, from aliens. Some of them, not very friendly. He pressed a final button. A hologram flickered above the satellite. A tall, fierce-looking alien appeared. Its skin was rough and dark, its eyes burning like fire. You have ignored us for too long, the creature growled. You will face the consequences. Earth will fall. The hologram vanished. William's mouth went dry. For hundreds of years, Earth had been alone, not because the universe was empty, but because they had stopped listening. And now, it was too late. He backed away from the satellite and turned on his thrusters. I have to get back, he said. I have to warn them. The satellite drifted silently behind him, its red light still blinking in the darkness. Earth had missed the call. Now the galaxy was coming. William Carter sped back to the station, his heart pounding in his chest. The satellite's warnings played over and over in his mind. Earth was in danger and no one even knew it. As he reached the docking bay, he slammed the controls and hurried inside. The airlock hissed open, and he ran through the empty corridors, his boots clanging against the metal floor. Piper, he said breathlessly, download all the satellite data to my terminal. I need to see everything. Data transfer in progress, Piper replied calmly. William burst into the control room. The station was quiet, only a few lights flickering overhead. He threw off his helmet and rushed to the main console. Files and messages filled the screens, thousands of them. He clicked on the earliest one. A hologram popped up. A group of small, bright-eyed creatures smiled warmly. Greetings, Earth. We invite you to join the Galactic Council. We believe together we can build a future of peace and prosperity. William leaned back in his chair. That had been over 400 years ago. He clicked the next message. This time, a taller, blue-skinned alien offered trade deals, minerals, technology, medicine. All Earth had to do was reply. Next came the warnings. An alien military leader, eyes sharp and voice cold, spoke clearly. Hostile forces are moving through your sector. Prepare your defenses. Contact us for assistance. William's hands shook. Earth had ignored them all. And then came the darkest message. Overlord Vrace appeared, towering and fierce. His voice rumbled like thunder. Earthlings, your silence is an insult. Your ignorance is weakness. We offered you a place among us. Now, you will be crushed. Your planet will burn. This is your final warning. William closed the file. His mind raced. These weren't random threats. They were serious. And judging by the reports of recent attacks in nearby space, Vrace hadn't forgotten. Earth was still in danger. He grabbed his communicator and sent an urgent request to Earth Command. Priority Red Alert. Subject imminent alien threat. Action required. Immediate response. He paced the room while waiting. Minutes passed. Then his communicator buzzed. Earth Command here. State your emergency. William took a deep breath. This is Technician William Carter, Moon Station. I've recovered an old satellite loaded with unread galactic messages. Earth has ignored diplomatic invitations, security warnings and declarations of war for centuries. Overlord Vrace has targeted Earth. His forces could attack at any moment. There was a long pause. Repeat that, the voice said flatly. William repeated it. Slower this time. The response was short. Message received. Stand by. The line went dead. William stared at the communicator. He had expected panic, questions, action. Instead, there was only silence. He turned back to the screens, scanning more messages, searching for any hope. A few friendly species had offered protection. Centuries ago. Would they still help now? He didn't know. All he knew was that time was running out, and Earth wasn't ready. William Carter sat at his desk, staring at the communicator, waiting for Earth Command to respond. Minutes stretched into an hour. Still nothing. He stood up and began pacing the room. Why aren't they calling back? He muttered. Don't they understand how serious this is? Finally, a message flashed on his screen. Meeting scheduled. Earth Central Command, 0900 hours. William grabbed his gear and rushed to the station's teleport pad. A few moments later, he arrived at Earth's main headquarters, a tall silver tower rising above the ruins of old Chicago. The building looked impressive from the outside. Inside it was slow, crowded and full of endless paperwork. William pushed through the halls, ignoring the curious looks from officials and soldiers. He entered the main conference room, where a group of generals, scientists and politicians waited. Most of them looked tired and uninterested. At the head of the table sat Director Holt, the man in charge of Earth's defense operations. He was an older man with gray hair and sharp eyes. Technician Carter, Holt said, without looking up from his tablet. We received your report. Explain. William cleared his throat. Sir, the satellite I found contained thousands of messages. Invitations, warnings, threats. Earth ignored them all. Overlord Vrace, a powerful alien warlord, has declared war on Earth. He could attack any day. He paused, waiting for a reaction. Silence. Finally, one of the generals laughed lightly. You expect us to believe that a forgotten satellite just happened to have messages from dangerous aliens? Another official added. Probably just a prank. Some old system glitch. William felt anger boiling inside him. This is real. I saw the messages, the holograms. Vrace is real, and he's coming. We need to prepare Earth's defenses immediately. Director Holt raised a hand, silencing the room. We will investigate, Mr. Carter, he said calmly. But we cannot cause a global panic based on the word of one technician. William clenched his fists. By the time you finish your investigation, it might be too late. Holt sighed. Dismissed. Two security guards approached to escort William out. He shook his head in disbelief. You're making a mistake, he said, as they led him back to the teleport pad. As William was transported back to his station, he stared out at the sky. It seemed peaceful, quiet, but he knew better now. Later that night, Sitting alone at his control panel, William watched new reports coming in from deep space stations. Strange signals. Ships disappearing near Saturn. Drones going silent near the asteroid belts. Signs of trouble, proof that the danger was real. But Earth's leaders refused to listen. William leaned forward, determination burning in his eyes. "If they won't act," he said quietly, "then I will." He opened a secret communication channel, one meant for emergencies only, and began sending messages to anyone in space who might still be listening. Someone had to help, because Earth was running out of time. Days passed, and Earth stayed quiet. No alerts, no alarms. Life on the planet continued as usual. People went to work, children went to school, and the government stayed silent. But William Carter knew better. Every night, he watched the outer space scans. Strange ships were moving closer. Signals came and went in patterns he didn't recognize. Small stations near Jupiter and Saturn stopped sending reports. Earth wasn't safe, it was blind. On the 5th day, the first attack happened. A research outpost on Titan, Saturn's largest moon, sent a frantic distress call. "This is Titan Station. We are under attack. Unknown ships, shields failing." The message cut off. William stood frozen, watching the screen. His heart pounded hard in his chest. He grabbed his communicator and called Earth Command. No answer. Again, no response. He slammed his fist against the desk. "They're ignoring everything." He knew what he had to do. William called the small group of people he had secretly gathered over the last few days. Old friends, a few daring engineers, and some soldiers who believed him. They met at an abandoned bunker deep under the old Chicago ruins. The air smelled of dust and rusted metal. But the old system still worked. "Earth won't act," William said, standing before them. "But we can." He showed them the data, the missing stations, the attacks, the movement of unknown fleets. One of the engineers, a short woman named Riley, asked, "What's the plan?" William pointed to the old defense systems map on the wall. "We fix the orbital shields. We reactivate the railguns. We bring back every drone and turret that still works. It won't be enough to win, but it might buy us time." The group got to work immediately. Days and nights blurred together as they repaired ancient technology. Some systems hadn't been touched in centuries. Sparks flew, engines roared, and old batteries hummed to life. Meanwhile, William kept sending warning messages into deep space, hoping someone, anyone, would hear them. On the 7th day, as the first line of shields powered up, the sky above Earth shimmered strangely. Piper buzzed in William's earpiece. Unknown vessels detected. Large fleet. Incoming at high speed. William ran to the bunker's surface hatch and looked up. Dozens of ships broke through the clouds, dark and silent, like giant shadows. At the center of the fleet, a massive battleship loomed, black as night, with the symbol of Overlord Vrex glowing red on its hull. The invasion had begun. William turned back to his team. His voice was steady. "Man your stations, ready the weapons. It's now or never." Sirens began to wail across the city. Earth was finally waking up. The sky above Earth turned black with enemy ships. William Carter stood at the old defense bunker, gripping the control panel tightly. His team scrambled around him, powering up the last of the ancient weapons. Sparks flew. Systems groaned as they came to life, after centuries of sleep. "Piper," William said, his voice sharp. "Status report. Orbital shields at 40%. Railguns online. Drone fleet at 25% capacity," Piper answered. It wasn't much, but it was all they had. The first wave of enemy fighters swooped down, lasers flashing. Earth's few active defense satellites shot back, lighting up the sky with streaks of red and blue. Explosions rocked the bunker as some enemy ships slipped through. "Fire the railguns," William shouted. With a deafening boom, the ground cannons roared, launching massive bolts of energy into the sky. Several enemy ships burst into flames and fell like shooting stars. Cheers broke out in the bunker. But it wasn't enough. For every ship they shot down, 3 more took its place. On the main screen, William watched as Overlord Vrex's flagship moved into position. It was massive, almost the size of a small city. Its hull bristled with weapons, and its engines glowed with a deep, menacing light. Piper's voice chimed in, calm as ever. Enemy flagship preparing to fire main weapon. William's stomach twisted. If that ship fired, entire cities would be wiped out. He opened a communication channel. His voice echoed across Earth's emergency frequencies. This is William Carter. Earth is under full attack. All remaining forces, rally to Old Chicago. Defend the planet. Across the world, people finally realized the truth. Military bases launched whatever ships they had. Pilots raced to join the fight. Even private citizens with old modified cargo ships took to the skies. Earth's people were fighting back. The battle raged. Fighters weaved through the clouds, dodging enemy fire. Railguns and drones worked together, blasting incoming enemies. Buildings shook. Fires burned. The ground trembled. In the middle of the chaos, William kept fighting, repairing systems, rerouting power, sending orders. But they were losing. The enemy flagship charged its main cannon. Energy built up, glowing like a sun about to explode. William gritted his teeth. We need backup now. He stared at the screen showing the deep space channels. No response, no help. Just when all hope seemed lost, a new signal flashed on the radar. Multiple signals, big ones. Piper's voice chimed again. Incoming fleet detected. Unknown origin. William squinted at the screen. Ships appeared. Sleek, shining, powerful. The Allies had arrived. A voice crackled through the speakers. This is Captain Rylan of the Elaxian Empire. Earth, we received your distress call. Stand by for support. William's heart lifted. The Elaxians opened fire on the enemy fleet. Their weapons were stronger, faster. In minutes they punched holes through Vrex's forces. The battle turned. William and his team used the distraction to boost the railguns to full power. Together with the Elaxians, they launched a massive strike at the enemy flagship. The energy blast hit Vrex's ship dead center. It cracked open, flames bursting out. Enemy ships scattered in panic. Vrex's voice came over the speakers, deep and furious. This is not the end. Earth will fall one day. Then his ship exploded in a bright, burning light. The enemy forces retreated, vanishing into the darkness of space. The sky was finally clear. William leaned heavily against the console, exhausted but smiling. They had won, for now. Smoke drifted over the ruins of the battlefield. Pieces of broken ships rained down like metal snow. Fires burned in the distance. Earth was battered, but still standing. William Carter sat on a piece of fallen debris, breathing heavily. His suit was torn. His hands were scraped, but he didn't care. They had survived the first attack. Piper's voice crackled in his earpiece. Incoming communication from Captain Rylan. William tapped his wrist pad. A hologram of Captain Rylan appeared. A tall, silver-skinned alien with kind eyes and a strong voice. Earth, Rylan said. You fought bravely. We are honored to stand by you. William stood up and nodded. Thank you, Captain. Without your help, we wouldn't have made it. Rylan smiled slightly. We received your distress call just in time. Many thought Earth had been lost or abandoned. Few believed you still cared about the galaxy. William felt a pang of shame. We stopped listening. We forgot the universe was bigger than ourselves. Rylan's tone grew serious. Overlord Vrex is only one threat. There are others. Earth must prepare. You cannot face the galaxy alone. William nodded. We'll be ready next time. The hologram faded. Across Earth, emergency teams worked to rebuild. Soldiers helped civilians. Engineers repaired shields and restored power grids. People once divided by nations and borders now worked side by side. For the first time in centuries, Earth realized it wasn't alone anymore, and it needed to change. William's team gathered in the bunker's control room. They were tired, bruised but smiling. We did it, Riley said, grinning. Yeah, William said, wiping sweat from his brow. But it's just the beginning. He walked over to the main communication console, the same one he had used to send the distress call. He opened a new channel. this time officially linking Earth to the Galactic Council. A simple message appeared on the screen. "Welcome back, Earth." William stared at it for a long moment, then smiled. Outside, ships from many worlds arrived to help. Medical supplies, rebuilding crews and technology flooded in. The galaxy had not forgotten Earth. They had only been waiting for Earth to reach out. The old satellite, the one William had found, now sat in a museum, a reminder of what happens when you stop listening. Above it, a sign read, "The message that saved Earth." William Carter looked up at the sky, now filled with ships from 100 different worlds, and felt a strange, deep hope. Earth had a second chance. This time they wouldn't waste it. Weeks passed since the battle. Earth was healing. Broken cities were being rebuilt with the help of alien engineers. New shields protected the planet from future attacks. Old governments met with new galactic leaders to form alliances. For the first time in centuries, Earth was no longer isolated. William Carter stood at the entrance of the newly built Earth Embassy, a shining tower of glass and metal rising in the center of New Chicago. Flags from dozens of alien worlds flew beside Earth's own. He adjusted his jacket and stepped forward. Today was the day he would officially become Earth's first ambassador to the Galactic Council. Piper buzzed in his ear. "William, the ceremony is about to begin." "Thanks, Piper," he said, smiling. As he walked into the great hall, people and aliens from across the galaxy filled the seats. Bright lights shone down. Cameras floated through the air, recording every moment. Director Holt, once so doubtful, stood at the podium. His voice rang out. "Today we mark a new chapter in Earth's history. We fought bravely. We survived. And thanks to William Carter, we are no longer alone." Applause filled the room. William stepped up to the podium. He looked around at the faces, human and alien, and felt a deep pride. He kept his speech simple, just like he liked it. "We made a mistake," he said. "We stopped listening. We thought we were alone. We forgot that we are part of something much bigger. But today we start fresh. We will listen, we will learn, and we will stand with our neighbors, no matter how far away they are." Another wave of applause echoed through the hall. Later, William visited a small museum built next to the embassy. In the center of the room stood the old satellite, cleaned, polished, and protected under a glass case. Above it, a new plaque had been placed, "The Forgotten Mailbox, the message that saved Earth." William smiled. Beside the satellite, a new galactic mailbox had been installed, sleek, shining, and impossible to ignore. A simple button blinked on the front. "Messages 0, checked daily." Piper chimed in. "No new messages, William." He laughed. "Good, but this time we'll be ready when they come." Outside, the sky was full of ships from every corner of the galaxy, peaceful, bright, and full of hope. Earth was finally part of something bigger. It was a new beginning. It was a new future.